in Gaza has confirmed the arrival of 45 Palestinian bodies recently handed over by Israel as part of a ceasefire agreement brokered by US President Donald Trump. Under the terms of the deal, Israel is supposed to return at least 15 Palestinian bodies for each deceased Israeli citizen that is released by Hamas. Earlier, Hamas released 3 Israeli bodies and 1 Nepalese national. The bodies of Palestinians, many of which remain unidentified, were delivered to Gaza on Tuesday. On the other hand, while the bodies of 24 hostages with Hamas are unaccounted for, the local authorities in Gaza report that Israel is still holding hundreds of Palestinian bodies, including those involved in the initial attacks on October 7. Here's what the Director General of the hospitals in Gaza had to say.
هذه الجثامين تم وضعها من قبل الاحتلال في ثلاجات، وهناك ما هو واضح المعالم وهناك ما يصعب التعرف عليه، وأخذنا وعد يعني من الصليب الأحمر أن نتلقى أسماء هؤلاء الشهداء 45 الذين تم تسليمهم. إلى الآن لم.
While of course there are celebrations on return of the hostages who were alive in Hamas captivity, there is also tension over the bodies of the hostages, which is over 24 now, that still remain with Hamas. The son of Amiram Cooper, an Israeli hostage killed in Gaza, spoke to journalists at Tel Aviv's Hostage Square, emphasizing the urgent need to continue searching for the remains of the missing hostages. Amiram, who was 84 years of age, was kidnapped from his home in Kibbutz Nir Oz along with his wife, Nurit. While Nurit was released in October 2023, Amiram died in captivity in June 2024. This is what the son of the slain hostage had to say.
As I said, the odds were not in our favor. I think if you talked to me a week ago, everybody was quite deflated and frustrated, and all of a sudden, we are here in a much better situation. So we have to keep going. We have to remind ourselves of our loved one and what they would have expecting us to do. And yes, it's difficult. And you know, we had the roller coaster on the up yesterday, and now we're on the down. We need to regather and continue strongly. You know, we pretty much have no choice. Of course, we need to continue. We need to assess the situation. It's different now. Also, the war is at least currently not raging. So we're in a different situation. We have people that are helping us out to strategize what to do, but in no way we're going to stop before we get all the hostages.
To tell our viewers, the Gaza ceasefire deal promises the return of the bodies of slain 24 hostages still held by Palestinian terrorists. In the related news, the Israeli Defense Forces have identified the bodies of 4 hostages returned by Hamas, including Guy Elius and Bipin Joshi, who were kidnapped in October 2023 and died while in captivity. Tens of thousands of people have flooded the streets of Brussels on Tuesday to protest government austerity plans, with a national strike that disrupted flights and public transport. The protest, which saw an estimated 80,000 demonstrators, comes as Belgium grapples with a massive budget deficit. The coalition government, led by Prime Minister Bart de Wever, is pushing pension reforms and other cuts to reduce the deficit, angering the trade unions. While the main march was peaceful, clashes broke out between some protesters and police, resulting in several arrests. Let's listen in to what some of the protesters have to say.
Alors aujourd'hui, on ressent de la détermination et quand même de la colère, parce que mettre toutes ces mesures sur le dos des travailleurs sans faire participer les épaules le plus larges, ce n'est pas juste.
En fait, j'ai perdu mon emploi en 2019, j'ai fait plusieurs formations et impossible de trouver du travail. J'ai beau envoyer des CV, etc. Vu l'âge, c'est pas possible, quoi. Pourtant, j'ai des conditions dans lesquelles il y a beaucoup d'avantages, mais impossible de trouver du travail, quoi.
Justice. Lors des dernières élections, on a laissé croire aux travailleurs qu'ils auraient 500 € de plus dans leur poche, ce qui est totalement faux. Après, ils ont dit « Ah mais non, finalement, vous aurez 500 € de différence entre les gens qui travaillent et les gens qui ne travaillent pas. » On a menti aux gens sur plusieurs sur plusieurs faits, sur plusieurs choses. Voilà.
Some breaking news coming in from Venezuela. At least 14 people have been confirmed dead following a mine collapse in Encalo in Venezuela after torrential rains caused severe flooding in the region. The incident occurred at the Cuatro Esconia de Cartel mine located in the southeast of the country, where the 3 shafts were flooded. Emergency operations are currently underway to recover the victims, with authorities focusing on pumping out water from the mine shafts to assess the situation in Alcalá, a town heavily dependent on gold mining, has seen repeated safety concerns due to the unregulated nature of the industry. Search and rescue efforts are ongoing as authorities continue to monitor the situation. Let's listen in to what the miners had to say.
Cuando empezó a llover normal, no había crecido el río, no había crecido, eso fue de repente 3, 4 horas de lluvia, ya cuando habían pasado más de 4 horas, fue un volcán de agua de abajo para arriba, todos los barrancos. Habían 3 barrancos en producciones que fueron los panas que cayeron abajo del agua.
Por la radio que los muchachos estaban pidiendo ayuda, ayúdanos, no nos dejen morir, chamos, jefe, estaban diciendo, y entonces los muchachos empezaron a machinear y venía el agua, pues. El agua venía como remolino, sí. Y ellos 3 se lanzaron en el mecate y los muchachos no pudieron subirlo, y ahí fue donde el agua se lo llevó y no pudimos escuchar más nada, y empezamos a escuchar fue ya los gritos de la hermana de uno de los muchachos, gritando, llorando. Estaba uno que como que sí se veía que estaba nadando, pero igual no pudo.
Now shifting our focus to Nepal, 4 writ petitions have been filed in the Supreme Court of Nepal seeking criminal investigation and accountability for those involved in suppressing the Gen Z protest on September 8th and 9th. The writs call for a criminal investigation into the roles of the then Prime Minister KP Sharma Ole, Home Minister Ramesh Lekhak, Police Chief Chandra Kuber, and the then Chief District Officer of Kathmandu, Chabi Rajai. Additionally, the petitions request the disclosure and annulment of any government or ministerial decisions that obstructed proper investigation or action. Breaking news coming in from Ukraine. Ukraine's energy provider Ukrenergo announced that emergency power cuts had been implemented in 8 regions due to damage caused by recent Russian strikes. The regions affected include Sumy, Kharkiv, Poltava, and Dnipropetrovsk, as well as partial disruptions in Kirovograd, Kiev, and Cherkasy. The energy provider cited a difficult situation in the energy system resulting from continued Russian attacks on critical infrastructure. These power cuts are part of ongoing efforts to stabilize the grid and manage the damage from the strikes. Airbus A320 all-time deliveries top Boeing 737 for the first time. According to recent figures released today, for the first time in aviation history, the Airbus A320 has surpassed the Boeing 737, and while Boeing delivered 40 737 MAX planes in September, bringing the total number of 737s delivered since its 1968 debut to 12,254 Airbuses. A320 surpassed this milestone with 12,257 deliveries by the end of September. The A320, introduced in 1988, is now officially the most purchased aircraft in history, overtaking Boeing's long-standing